Hi guys! So this week, I was writing the script for this week's video, but then I thought to myself, why do I always have to write scripts? Why can't I just talk spontaneously, share a little bit about myself, and be open to you guys about my progress in language learning and what I've been up to? So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So I think in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit faster because this is the normal speed that I talk to in real life. So if a lot of you guys find it difficult to follow me, there are some things you can do. One, you can adjust the speed yourself because YouTube actually has the option, if you guys don't know, to adjust the speed. So you can adjust it from 1 to 0.75. Slower than that, I'm just gonna sound a little weird. And two, if you're having difficulties understanding me, then I guess it's just a part of the process. I think you are here to learn a language, and a part of that journey is to listen to different types of context and different speed. So yeah, right now you're maybe listening to a video that is a little bit too fast for your level, but that's only good because then you're leveling up. So let's get to it. So today I want to talk about comprehension and also a little bit of my progress in French. So I've been focusing on my French since I think about August or July, I think about August. I spent 6 weeks in the summer in France, in Montpellier. It was an amazing time. And of course, I really leveled up my French there. I think I started off at like A2, B1 level, and then I ended around B1, B2 level, so that was a good boost. And now I finally managed to speak in French slowly with native speakers when I was there, and also understand them if they speak slowly. So definitely it was a huge improvement than my French, let's say, in July. So that's that. However, now that I'm back in Indonesia, I don't want to lose my French. I'm not in France anymore. I'm not exposed to French as much anymore. So what do I do to maintain my level of French so that it doesn't go down? So the easiest and most straightforward thing for me to do is, of course, to expose myself to content online. So what I've been doing is I was actually reading this book before I shot this video. And actually have a little bit of difficulties understanding this book for good reason, because it's actually pretty difficult. And also, another thing that I do is actually better is to watch sitcom in French. So I've been watching some sitcoms on YouTube and on Netflix. So on Netflix, of course, it's a lot easier because then I could just simply search French movies and TV series, and it's just gonna show me some of the more popular ones. And then of course they have very good and reliable subtitles. However, I also just recently started using a VPN, and this thing changed my life, So with VPN, I could actually access the French Netflix, which gives me a lot more options, including French sitcoms that are normally easier to understand than just normal French movies. But then for me, instead of watching French sitcoms, I decided to watch Friends. And I'm a big fan of Friends, I think I've watched the whole 10 seasons at least 3 or 4 times. So this is actually the best way for me to learn French, because being able to access the French Netflix means that I can watch Friends using the audio also in French. I wish I could show it to you on the screen, but Netflix does not allow me to record the screen. So on the French Netflix, I can actually watch Friends using either the English audio or the French audio. So of course, I decided to watch the French audio with the French audio instead. And this is actually the best way for me to learn because I already know all of the stories by heart. I even memorized some of the dialogues of Friends in English, So the point is that I know Friends very, very well. And then when I watch Friends in French, even though I don't understand every single word that they use, I know what the meanings are, I know what they're saying. I know what is happening right now. So with that, it's actually a lot easier for me to pick up these new vocabulary through context because I already know it. So this is my best way of learning French right now. But of course, I alternate between watching Netflix and YouTube. And then moving on from Netflix, I use also YouTube. YouTube is actually a little harder because I actually did find a channel that shows a lot of these classic French sitcoms from the 90s that is actually pretty fun to watch. However, this channel called Génération Sitcom do not have subtitles. So having said that, how do I go about this? Because this is actually a problem that a lot of people are dealing with, right? You consume native level content without subtitles, and you just have a very difficult time to understand them. And how do you go about that? So while I was going through this problem myself a couple of hours ago, I actually thought about the solution myself. So first is to accept it. Accept the fact that, it's part of the journey. As I told you in the beginning of the video, actually, it's part of the journey if you don't understand it. This means that you're leveling up. Like, don't be too hard on yourself and really understand that this is a normal struggle to have when you're learning a language. The second thing that you can do is don't force yourself to understand. So I speak from experience. When I don't understand fully what I'm watching on TV, I sometimes just move on, because also I'm a little bit of a weirdo. I actually have a lot of fun reading things or watching things when I don't fully understand them. So I take pleasure in that. And I do acknowledge that this is not really something that a lot of people share with. And so when you're exposing yourself to a lot of these content, the goal isn't always to fully understand what these people, what these native speakers are talking about. The goal is to actually get yourself exposed to as much content as possible so that your brain can slowly pick it up and do the work in the background, So that's that, So if you're not a weirdo like me, you prefer to understand something fully in order to have fun with it, then what you can do is actually step 3. Separate learning and entertainment time. So before you decide to expose yourself to, let's say if you're learning French, to French content, definitely do it with intention. Before you start, think to yourself, okay, am I watching this series to learn or to get entertained? For me, when I know that I just don't want to learn French, I just want to get entertained. I think there was a show called Lupin, and I really liked that. And I did not feel, I really liked the story, and I didn't feel like learning French at the time. I just wanted to know how the story unfolds. So I decided to just use English subtitles, because at that time, my goal is to just have fun. However, other times where I do feel like reading or watching something in French, and I feel like, okay, you know what, I want to watch this because I want to expose myself to French, then I change the goal. Okay, I'm watching this series for me to learn French. So a lot of times I separate my learning time and entertainment time. Although for me, because language learning is my hobby, sometimes learning French and entertainment kind of like clashes with each other. But for those of you guys who are not really into language learning, maybe it's better to separate, because then it's also important to keep a balance between fun and learning. Because if you're learning a language and you're not having fun, then you're very likely to get discouraged. And when you are having fun a lot, let's say you're exposing yourself to French but you're always using English subtitles and you're not really learning French, then your progress of learning is going to be very, very slow. So being able to separate your learning time and your language time, and knowing the sweet spot and how to balance the fun and learning in learning a language, then you're gonna be hitting the jackpot. So that's just what I wanted to share in this video. I hope you guys like it. If you guys like this type of video, please do let me know. But if you do prefer to watch more scripted videos like I normally do, also let me know so that I get a little bit of data on what to make in the future. Until then, thank you for being here. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.